So we're almost done and it's ready for lunch. There's the DNA oxidative risk. This is the 8-oxoguanine. This is a urine test. This is the one you're probably least familiar with, but it is a urine test, non-invasive, and it's really a marker of oxidative stress and antioxidant status in the cell nucleus. And I want to know whether my DNA is being overly oxidized or not, and that's the 8-oxoguanine. And we know the goal value. So we want it to be less than 5 nanograms per milligram creatinine. So again, don't pay any attention to the lab range. This is your goal value. If you have a healthy nucleus in regard to translation and transcription, then you'll have less than 5 nanograms per milligram creatinine, highest probability of 10-year survival. And if you're having extra oxidation in your nucleus, by gosh, look at all the things that you get to have dramatically increased. Take your choice.
Would you include that same goal value for somebody in the chemotherapy regimen?
Oh, good question. Yes, chemotherapy is by definition oxidative. I would expect that people on chemotherapy would have higher values. Although, if you follow through on what I said before about Abram Hoffer's work, and you follow the C-cleanse, you might not have much increase. You would still have the oxidative effects of the chemo, but the additional oxidative damage that is usually reflective of antioxidant deficit, that you can manage. And so if you have the C-cleanse, you might not see much increase. But it's a good question, because this is for people not taking chemo, and I don't know what the value is for people taking chemo because we haven't had the opportunity to measure. But I will say that the value will go up in proportion to antioxidant deficiency, not just the chemo.
But it's fine to preserve DNA.
Oh, yes. Even in people on chemo, you can look at DNA oxidative damage as a risk factor because, as you probably know, one of the big concerns about chemotherapy is that a certain fraction of the chemotherapy induces another cancer. And people like me have said, you're at more risk of inducing another cancer if you lack the protective context, the antioxidants, the buffering minerals, and cofactors.
Do you recall the title of that paper?
Which one? Of which one?
The Abram Hoffer's paper.
Abram Hoffer, it's a book, and it's called Vitamin C in Cancer. It's a book by Abram Hoffer, A-B-R-A-M-H-O-F-F-E-R, Vitamin C in Cancer. Yes, I think Quest, yes, definitely.
And can you access this one also?
Yes. Oh, yes. No, we're trying to create interest in the predictive biomarkers and their goal values, but you don't have to work with us, although we'll tell you what the goal values are regardless. But we'd like to work with you. So whether it's obesity or distress, which is hormone imbalance, or metabolic syndrome, or chronic pathogens, or repair deficit, which is really inflammation, these are the things that people in the West have been dropping like flies from, or from which we've been dropping like flies, and now we can get to the molecular but individual needs, meet them, and go by results. Now, I'm sure that you're as familiar as I am with the increase in these environmental chemicals, but it's now documented. It's no longer a controversy. Antioxidants are needed. This is an example of the kinds of antioxidants that we want. The family of EPA and DHA guard, 3 to 6 grams a day. Notice I'm taking 9 because that works better for me. CoQ10, 300 to 1,200 milligrams a day with tocopherols. Because not only do we micelize our CoQ10 in 100% rice bran oil, but we know that if you need CoQ10, you need tocopherols. So we have tocopherols in our LifeGuard Super Multi. We have tocopherols in our LivaGuard Forte liver support. We have, in any place where you need CoQ10, you need vitamin E. So we have them. And by the way, if you want to get CoQ10 in, it has to be in 100% rice bran oil. Essence of rice bran oil? No. Soybean oil? No. As you probably know, CoQ10 is a very insoluble material. It's kind of like coal tar in terms of its consistency. If you want to get it in, and we wanted threefold increase compared to the best of others, you need 100% rice bran oil. Comprehensive super multi with 40 active ingredients, and then the detoxifying foods, the whole foods that provide healthy repair. Silymarin, L-carnitine in the fumarate form, lycopene, and other carotenoids. So we do follow nature always. We follow the physiologic forms always. We follow the mixed natural forms always. Inflammation, related to everything. This is a kind of summary of what we've accomplished so far. The fact that inflammation is really repair deficit is a good example of what all of this is about. Because if you think of inflammation as a fire to be fought, you end up with NSAIDs and steroids. If you realize inflammation as repair deficit, then you want to evoke healing responses and remove obstacles to recovery. So we have these 4 biomarkers, and we know what their goal values are, and this is what we've been talking about up until now. And then there's 4 more. Actually, I think the next one is all 8. Yeah, now you see all 8 of them, and we give you some examples of labs that can help you with them, but we would be thrilled and delighted to help you as well. And so, it's time for lunch. So a healthy immune system defends and repairs. The essential predictive high sensitivity tests include delayed hypersensitivities, HSCRP, hemoglobin A1C, and homocysteine. The elective protective high sensitivity assessments include pH measurement in the urine after rest, vitamin D, omega-3 test, and 8-oxoguanine. We've talked about all 8 of these. And on the one hand, I hope you feel encouraged that while we've covered a lot of territory, you're beginning to see how they interrelate, how truly interdependent all of life is, and the consequence is that we can live well and happy the alkaline way, and I am grateful for the fact that you've allowed me to share this with you. We do have a buffet lunch consistent with the alkaline values, and I think there's some mineral water as well as other beverages. So let's have a little repast, and if there are any questions while we're eating, I'm happy to address them. By the same token, some people like to eat in silence, and they're welcome to do that.